Okay. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the vlog. My name is Filip Latocha. Today is our recap of yesterday or Sunday's Greybeard half marathon 4-mile race, how things went, what happened, and just answering some other questions I may have had in the comment section below. So before we get into it, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. There are still a lot of races coming up while I'm out here in Sarasota, Florida that I'm trying to win. And yeah, we're just going to keep on trying and just keep on running and just seeing how things go. But without further ado, let's get into it. So speaking of racing and trying to win, I took first place overall yesterday at the Greybeard half marathon 4-miler. But let's explain some things before we get into it. So I did originally sign up for the half marathon. However, the night of the race, more information did start coming out about the conditions of the race, such as whether there was going to be water available and things like that. And I saw that the race was going to be cupless. So this thought to me was, oh man, I'm going to be running in a water backpack. Like, I didn't train for this. I know how my water backpack currently is, and I wasn't really liking the idea. So I said, okay, let's be smart about this. The idea here is that I am ambitious enough to try the half marathon, but I'm in the right fitness and in prime physique for running mid-distance running. So knowing that the 4-miler was the option, basically at almost the last minute, in the last hour of the race, I did choose to basically race in the 4-miler, and I got approved to run it as such. That being said, I did run the 4-miler, and I won the 4-miler. So ultimately, super satisfied about that. Winning is always great. And yeah, let's just start breaking some of these things down. So first things first, I believe I ran the entire thing. It was like 4.25 miles total in about 25:17, maybe 25:10 or something like that. Basically, the average pace was about 6 minutes per mile. Let me tell you why in a race setting this was a little bit slower. So I'm going to try to break down this race from start to finish, basically as I remember it. So at the start line, my tactic is usually to find like 2 or 3 people who just give off that like vibe of they're going to be a front pack runner, and try to stay with them for as long as possible. I saw like 2 or 3 guys who I imagined would be those front pack runners based on whether it was gear they were wearing, just the way they looked, the way they were asserting themselves. And I said, okay, I'm going to try to get in the front pack with those particular guys and hold on for as long as possible. That's typically a good race strategy, I would say. And then, you know, you try to do kind of a split pace effort to essentially, you know, try to break away at the last few minutes of the race, I suppose. The gun goes off at the 4-miler, and, you know, it's me and this one guy. We kick it off. We're already in the front pack. We already create like a 4 or 5 second gap from everyone else, but I see that I'm not like feeling like I'm getting pushed. He's pushing maybe like a 6:15 pace, and I'm sitting right like on his tails. Even I get right next to him at some point. I'm thinking, wait a minute, he's going a little bit slower than I would expect for somebody who's trying to like break away early in this race. So I have one of 2 options. One, I can either relax and sit with him, or I can try to make my move very early in the race and just hold on for dear life until the very end. And I chose the not so smart move, and I immediately started bombing away from him at about a 5:50, 5:45 pace. And that ultimately in the first mile did create about, I think, a 20, maybe 15 second gap between us. And then he wolf packed with another 2 or 3 guys who were in their lead packs respectively. So basically the name of the game now, in my mind, was, okay, I'm in front, not challenged by anyone that's coming up on my tails right now. Let's run a tempo pace, rather. Relax into this pace and just be efficient, because the idea now is I've already stepped on the gas once. You may not have enough in the tank to do that again, so just chill out, relax, and hold on to the front position. This is just methodically what I thought was efficient during the run, and usually what I think is efficient during races as well. You don't have to just bomb it the entire race to prove a point. unless you're trying to PR for yourself. But in my case, I'm thinking, okay, it's my first race back after 15 months. I need to have a rust buster. Let's just play this one tactically. And so far, the tactics were working 100%. I wasn't pushing myself to the point where I thought I was going to hurl or dry heave or anything like that from the lack of fluids. But I wasn't running as fast where I thought I was necessarily being challenged. I was maybe at like 80 to 90%, I'd say, threshold pace. Like, again, it felt like tempo for a little while. And it was relaxed, and I just had enough time to like look around to, just check, make sure nobody was tailing me, they weren't catching up. And what I saw was that even in my tempo pace, they were falling further and further behind. So again, in my brain, I'm thinking, okay, if we keep this up exactly the way it is right now, this race is mine. But we have to stay strict to the plan. If you're feeling a little bit sick or like you feel like you're gonna dry heave or something, slow it down just a little bit, cough it off, wait it off, and just keep going. So basically I had a few moments, I think like in the second half of the race, where it started feeling like my stomach was burning because, of course, slamming a 6 minute per mile, 6:10 pace is, it can be kind of taxing after a little while, especially if you're not taking fluids, which I was not. There was no option to do so. So I had to like kind of fluctuate the pace just to kind of like get over the slightly harder sections of the course, I guess you can say, where because what happened in our course is we merged with the half marathon course at some point, and the idea was to psychologically try to avoid the pain in the stomach or any sort of like discomfort that was going on by trying to leapfrog off of people and focusing on that. So get your mind off the fact that like it feels like you're gonna hurl your guts out running this fast. So that was very effective for pretty much the majority of the race, and by mile 3 I think I had run the 5K in about 18 minutes 10 seconds, which in my case I'm like, okay, cool, we're holding this pace, everything's going pretty smoothly, let's just keep this up. We got 1 mile left, let's make this happen. And of course, as I keep looking, I'm seeing that the pack is getting further and further behind. They're about maybe 30 seconds behind now, so I know for a fact I have this race in the bag if I don't blow up right now. And of course, I just settle into the tempo pace, and by the time I get to the finish line, I mean, it was pretty surreal. I'm like, oh wow, I actually won this thing. And like the moment I heard the beep of the timer chip go off as I crossed the finish line, I'm like, wow, there we have it. Like, my first race is complete, and I made a last-minute decision to get into this particular race pack, and in my opinion, it was the right decision. It was the smarter decision rather than the more ambitious, more challenging decision. That being said, the half marathon pack, from what I understood, there were some national champions in that half marathon pack who were excellent runners, I believe. But from what I understood from the locals, I guess he's like a national champion, and I guess next week, so this coming Saturday or whatever it is, I don't know if he's racing or he's like an organizer or some kind of like event handler for Challenge Miami for that event. But I guess like, a lot of the guys in that half marathon pack were pretty much a big deal, and they crossed the finish line with, I think, a half marathon of about an hour 20, hour 25 total. If I were to race in the half marathon, I imagine I would have had a top 10 finish. I would have been probably really destroyed and really decimated. But of course, I have no regrets about it right now. I think running the mid-distance race, or the shorter distance in this particular instance, was the smarter move, as this is where my fitness currently seems to be working best. I haven't done much distance training. I've done a lot of mid-distance work, a lot of speed work, and in turn, it's giving me some very it's a bountiful harvest of results right now. So I've won my first race of 2021, and I think from a time chip perspective, I think this is the one that's recognized as my first official win as well. But I did win some like gym races and stuff, but this one, again, this is a time to chip race that I've won for the first time. And I've got 2 more while I'm out here in Sarasota. The next one is this coming Saturday, which is a 10K. That's going to be more of a time trial fashion. It's not an all-out start for people. I think they're just trying to split it up for, COVID restrictions and all that. So I'm going to be in the last pack by choice, and we're just going to try to find our way to, leapfrog off people, and that's going to be my strategy, is to leapfrog and try to win the 10K overall time. And then there's going to be another 8K, I think like 2 or 3 weeks from now. But once we cross that road, or that bridge for that matter, we'll worry about it then. But again, super satisfied with how the race went. Exceeded all of my expectations. No regrets for getting into the 4-miler race instead of the half marathon whatsoever. And yeah, we just keep on chugging along here. I guess the last thing we can bring up is that, like, people in Florida are just so nice. Like, the running communities are just absolutely amazing out here. People are super talkative, super supportive. They were always like, you know, just talking about anything. They were like, oh yeah, you're from Chicago, that's cool. And I would always mention, like, it's just my opinion that some of the running communities in Chicago are just like really, the people don't seem too great. They seem kind of mean. Everyone seems to be like pretty self-centered with themselves. I don't know if it's just a city thing or whatnot, but like out here, everyone talks. They, you know, it's getting invited to like group runs and stuff, and like chances are I'll probably end up on some of these group runs here and there, depending on where people invite me out to them. But yeah, essentially, I really like the Florida community overall, particularly in Sarasota. Considering this place is also 100% open, that's like a huge plus as well. So. Makes the social community much more effective, I suppose. But anyways, yeah, that was the last note I think I wanted to add in this video. But yeah, stay tuned for our next race update. The next race will be the Lucky Leprechaun 10K, I believe. Because again, this is March, it's St. Patrick's Day. This is where all these goofy, cringy leprechaun themed races come in. So whatever, winning is winning. So whether it be a tactical or a fast race, you know, that's all up to you, I suppose. So thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next race update, I suppose, or if I got something else coming up tomorrow, exploring Sarasota or whatever. So thanks again for watching. See you guys real soon.